Good evening, everyone. In last classes, we discussed about narrations. We discussed about changing of tenses from direct to indirect and changing of times from direct to indirect and changing of pronoun from direct to indirect. In second video, I discussed some examples from variety tenses. Okay, and today I am going to discuss the narration of interrogative and imperative sentences. Regarding interrogative and imperative sentences, what changes we have to do? Okay, how can we have to follow the conditions? And what about the details I am going to discuss. Here I take some examples from interrogative sentence, some other examples from imperative sentence. Let's discuss one after another to make the concept proper. First of all, the first example, before going to explain it, before going to discuss the particular examples, I like to say, I also told in last classes also, when we get a sentence for a narration, we have to identify two parts. One part is reporting verb and other part is reported speech. Okay. After that, we have to follow the rules or principles of changing narration from direct to indirect. And another important thing is that when we will get the reported speech part in interrogative sentence, then in indirect form narration, instead said we have to use asked. Okay, and in this particular place, comma and double quotation and double quotation in this particular place, we have to use sometime if or whether. But if the interrogative sentence start with WH question, what, how, where, why, then no need to use if or whether. Another important thing is that in indirect form narration, we have to change this pattern because it is an example of interrogative sentence. Interrogative sentence format, first of all, auxiliary verb, then subject. But in indirect form narration, we have to write subject first and then auxiliary verb, then other things. Okay, let's discuss. If I will discuss, then I think it will definitely help us to make the concept clear. He said to me, what are you doing now? Here, reporting verb part, he said to me, and what are you doing now? That part is important because regarding changing a narration from direct to indirect, we have to identify this particular part. This particular given sentence given in which sentence that particular about it details. And this particular part, reported speech part given in interrogative sentence. First of all, we have to identify interrogative sentence of what tense, which tense. It is an interrogative sentence of present continuous tense, are given and after verb ing given. Okay, so I told you that instead said we have to write in indirect form narration. Instead said we have to write asked. So here we written he asked me. He asked me. I also told you that if the interrogative sentence starts with WH question, what, where, how, then no need to use if or whether in this particular place. So here we not using if or whether. So we written here what I was doing then, because it is an example of present continuous tense. Okay, present continuous but interrogative sentence, but we have to write it past continuous tense, but in the format of affirmative. Okay, affirmative pattern. So here we written he asked me what I was doing then. Now time given, so it is changed into then. Next one, she said to him, what is your name? In this particular sentence also, reported speech part, what is your name? Another interrogative sentence of simple present tense. Okay, so instead said we have to write asked. She asked him. Okay, she asked him what given, so no need if or whether. He asked him what his name was. It is what is given, so here we have to write was, and after subject we have to write be verb. Here first be verb written because it is in interrogative form, so here be verb written first, then subject written, but we have to write subject first, then be verb in indirect form of narration. And third example, the teacher said to the students, have you completed the syllabus? Here the teacher said to the student, reporting verb part, reported speech part, have you completed the syllabus? It is an example of interrogative sentence of present perfect tense. Have given, verb in third form given. So but in that case, what will be the answer? Let's see. The teacher asked the students if given, because here interrogative sentences start with auxiliary verb have. Okay, so here in this place we have to write if. The teacher asked the students if, because this is an example of present perfect in indirect form narration. If we get present perfect tense in indirect form narration, we have to write past perfect. So here written they had, the students. The teacher said to the students, so here we have to write they had completed the syllabus. Next one, my father said to her, can you do the work? My father said to her, can you do the work? Here can you do the work, this part is report speech part. Okay, interrogative sentence of report speech part, and here can given it is we have to transfer to could in indirect form narration. So what will the answer? My father asked her if she could do the work. Next, Rahim said to Meena, will you help me? Here interrogative part, report speech part starts with will, auxiliary verb. So here also we need if or whether in indirect form narration. What will be the answer? Rahim asked Meena if she would help him. Okay, and there are the examples of interrogative sentences of direct form narration, and we turned it into indirect form narration by following the conditions. Again, I am going to repeat it because it is the concept is main thing. Although I have taken only 5 examples, but I am going to provide you some concept about in details. First of all, when we will get interrogative sentence in report speech part, then to transfer it indirect form narration, instead said we have to write asked. This is the first condition. Secondly, if the interrogative sentence starts with WH question, then no need in the place of comma and the comma. In that place, we no need to use if or whether. Otherwise, if it starts with helping verb or auxiliary verb, then we have to use it. And third condition, in direct form narration, though it is given in interrogative form of sentences, but in indirect form narration we have to write affirmative form. It means in the question in direct form narration, when it will be given in interrogative sentence, always first of all be verb will be given, be verb is given, and then subject is given. But in indirect form narration, you have to write first subject, then be verb or helping verb. There are the basic conditions of changing narration from direct to indirect in case of interrogative sentences. Okay. Next examples given from imperative sentences. Imperative sentence. I told you in last classes that imperative sentence indicates order, advice, and request. In that case, reported speech part given in which form, whether it is order, whether it is advice, whether it is request. First of all, we have to identify that, and then we have to turn it to indirect form narration. Then it will definitely help us to turn it to indirect form of narration. If the reported speech part given in order format, then where instead said we have to write ordered. If it is given in advice format, then we have to write advice instead of said. And if it is given in request, if it starts with please or kindly, then we have to write requested instead of said in indirect form of narration. Moreover, another change is that when we change the narration of imperative sentence from direct to indirect, in comma and the comma in this place we have to write to instead of if or whether or that. Here we have to use to in case of changing it from direct to indirect form of narration. Let's discuss some example. I think it will definitely help us to make the concept clear. The old man said clean the room. The old man said, here reported speech part is given in which format? No doubt it is an example of imperative sentence, but imperative sentence is 3 categories, na? Order, request, or advice. Now it part signifies order, clean the room. Okay, so here instead said we have to write ordered, then here in comma or comma place we have to write to, then other will remain same. What will be the answer? The old man ordered to clean the room. He said to me, go there immediately. Here reported speech part is another example of imperative format of order. It signifies order. So here also we have to write instead said we have to write ordered, then instead comma or comma in that place we have to write to, and other will remain same. What is the answer? He ordered me to go there immediately. Next one, she said to her brother, do your duty regularly. Do your duty regularly. Here reported speech part given in imperative format, imperative sentence. No doubt this is an example of imperative sentence, but it indicates advice. Advice. Do your duty regularly. It is advice. So here instead said we have to write advised, and other that will remain same. What will be the answer? She advised her brother to do his duty. Her brother given. So here you have to write his duty regularly. The person said to the boys, don't waste your valuable times. It is under format of imperative sentence from advice part. Okay, so here also we have to write the person advised the boys not to. Here don't given, so here we have to write not to waste their valuable times. There because the person said the voice. It is given in plural form. So here we written there. She said to me, please give me a pen. Here reported speech part given in imperative sentence from request part. Okay. So here please given. I told you that when we will get please or kindly, then obviously it will be request part of imperative sentence. Then what is the answer? If we will get the request part in reported speech part, then what do we have to write? We have to write requested instead said. She requested me to give her a pen. Okay, she requested me to give her a pen. This is the answer. Next one, Rahim said to her, kindly help me. This is another part of imperative sentence from request part. So what is the answer? Rahim requested her to help him. Okay, and there are the examples of imperative sentence. Here we get some imperative sentence from order, imperative sentence from advice, and imperative sentence from request. And last two example again I mentioned here I given two interrogative sentences. Let's discuss. Rahim said to, okay, next one. He said to me, did you go there? Okay, here reported speech part given in interrogative sentence of simple past tense. Here did given. So in case of if we will get the reported speech part in it past indefinite or simple past tense, then indirect formulation you have to write it past perfect tense. Then what will the answer? She said to me. She said to me because it start with auxiliary verb or helping verb. So here we written if I had if I had gone there. Next one, they say to me, have you done the work? Have you done the work? This is reported speech part is given in interrogative sentence of present perfect tense. So in indirect formulation you have to write past perfect tense. Then what is the answer? Because it is interrogative sentence, so here instead you have to write asked like other sentences. Okay. They asked me if I had done the work. These are the examples from interrogative sentences and imperative sentence, and these are the examples. And next I have to discuss some other examples from optative and exclamatory sentence. They are very important from exam point of view, and these are the very important or essential part which will be asked in examination and which is given in exam paper. So we have to make the concept properly. We have to understood it. We have to be understood it properly. Otherwise, it will be difficult for us to change it from direct to indirect form of narration. Thank you.